Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beginner's Guide for UPSC Preparation. I hope you all enjoyed our first episode of this series. As we promised in the beginning, we are going to address all the fundamental and frequently asked questions related to the preparation. So in this episode, we are going to take one of the important question, book list for UPSC preparation. So to address this, we have our faculty, Mr. Manjunath Sir. Welcome back to the series, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Suresh.
Sir, right from the beginning, many aspirants are get confused with so many materials available in the market. Why it is important to have limited and focused book list right from the beginning?
Yeah, Suresh. Actually, it's a very valid question. So based on my teaching experience also, I can tell you that any serious aspirant who starts their preparation, they'll always have this particular question as one of their very beginning questions. So what they'll ask is, sir, what kind of books to read? Is NCERTs important? Is NCERTs mandatory to prepare for UPSC? How important is reference book? There are so many reference books available in the market. Which one to prefer? So should we keep on changing the reference books or should we stick to the same one? How important is revision? These are very basic questions, but actually very foundational, very important questions in the beginning. Fine. So now to answer to that question, so book list actually matters a lot. It looks like a simple question because anyhow it's a factual one. Anyhow, if you Google it, you'll get it on internet. Correct. But what you have to understand is why are these books important? Now for that most important reason is, now if you look at the syllabus given by UPSC, it's very broad, and in some cases actually it looks like vague also, especially prelims related syllabus. So hence what happens in the market, there are so many sources available with respect to UPSC preparation. Now if a candidate who is not clear about what books to be referred with respect to NCERT and reference book, and then just follow behind whatever is available in the market, then there is no end to the materials. And one of the biggest mantra that we keep telling in UPSC is that never ever fall only and only behind content. Yes, content matters. You should have very good conceptual clarity. You should have lots of facts. So what do you call this? Summary reports, recommendations. Everything is important, but you should not fall only and only behind content. And if you don't have clarity with respect to reference books and NCERTs, this is 100% sure to happen for those who have started their preparation in the beginning. Yeah. So another point is, in UPSC preparation, another biggest thing that we keep telling, like another mantra for UPSC candidates is that it is important to understand what to do in this exam, but actually it is more important to understand what not to do. So in other words, it's very important to understand like which are the important books, plus so that what will happen, you will get an idea about, okay, what not to read. Let's stick my resources to only these few particular NCERTs and reference book. Let's focus on it. Let's concentrate my entire preparation in and around them. Let's make notes from them. Let's have a consolidated notes. And so that what will happen, if you ask any topper, they'll tell you that they all will have one or other consolidated notes. Some will have prelim separate notes, some will have main separate notes. Few people who are more smart, they can have combined notes also. But notes is very important, which is based on these NCERTs and reference book. So that what will happen, if you have one consolidated notes, revision is very easy. And the more number of times you revise, it's very easy to retain the points. So if you are able to retain it, and if it's there in your fingertips, it's very easy for you to recall that in your exam hall also. That's the reason book list matters a lot.
Thank you, sir. Let's start from the basics.
Yeah, sure.
NCERTs are considered as foundation for UPSC preparation.
True.
So why it is important to study NCERTs and how they should be studied?
To answer to that, NCERTs, just to get an idea for those who are not aware about what do you mean by these NCERTs, NCERTs are actually the syllabus or the textbooks for those who prepare for CBSE syllabus. Like how we have state syllabus, like similarly they have CBSE syllabus also. That means you can assume that it is prepared by the Government of India. Syllabus is given by them. Now why is it important? See, actually NCERTs make the foundation. In other words, it will give you the basic conceptual clarity which is necessary for any serious candidate. Only if you have studied NCERT for at least 2 to 3 times, you will get a basic hold on the concepts. Then only then you will be eligible to go through the reference books, understand the concepts in detail and try to make notes. We come across lots of students, those who keep telling that we'll directly rely on reference book. It might work for those people who have very good academic background, they would have studied CBSE syllabus itself or from ICSE backgrounds, and those who have very good grasping powers, so they can directly read NCERTs, directly go through reference books and then manage. For an average student, I am telling you, it's always important you focus on NCERTs as your foundational material. Then if you switch to reference book, then you will have a very good understanding of the concepts. Then you build on it, get lots of details, lots of facts, based on which you can prepare your notes. Now, just to add to that, now which NCERTs are important for which particular subjects? Let's go subject by subject. Now, if you start with polity, because I teach polity, I'll start with that itself. For Indian polity, the most important NCERTs are normally 4. One is Democratic Politics Part 1, which is for class 9. And then Democratic Politics Part 2, which is for class 10. And then you have Indian Constitution at Work and Political Theory, which are both for class 11. So, these 4 NCERTs are the most important. You have to mandatorily read them, there is no exception here. If in case few students, what they'll have, maybe because of their background, maybe they might not have read about this constitution or democracy or equality, liberty, these topics, sometimes they will still have doubts even when they study these 4 NCERTs. We suggest them to read social and political life NCERTs, which starts from class 8, class 9, which is more basics. That's a normal rule in reading NCERTs. If you are not able to understand the concepts by reading class 10 or 11 or 12 NCERTs, we suggest them to start from class 6, class 7. It is not mandatory, only if you are not able to understand it. Let's discuss about economy then. For economy, the most important NCERTs are, first one, Indian economic development for class 11. Second one, macroeconomics for class 12. And then for geography, so same like class 11 and class 12 NCERTs. Class 11 has 2 NCERTs, class 12 has 4 NCERTs. One is world physical geography and then Indian physical geography. Similarly, world human geography and then Indian human geography. Again, same rule. If in case you are not able to understand the concepts based on class 11 and 12 NCERTs for geography, go a little low. Start from class 6, class 7, class 8. It will help you to understand the basics. But ultimately, for your exam revision, class 11 and class 12 will work the most. Then, if we discuss about environment, there is no one particular NCERT for environment per se. But normally, we keep referring to students that it's better they study biology textbook of class 12, in which the last one of the unit called as ecology deals with this environment related topics. Other than that, there are reference books that we'll discuss later. And then with respect to ancient, medieval and modern India, with respect to NCERTs, what I would suggest is, because as there are lots of recommendations, for ancient India, I would suggest you to go through old NCERT, which was written by R.S. Sharma. And then for medieval India, another old NCERT written by Satish Chandra. And then for modern India, again another old NCERT which is written by Bipin Chandra. Now, with respect to, there are a lot of new NCERTs also. You can refer that also with respect to ancient, medieval and modern, which is themes in Indian history part 1, part 2 and part 3 for class 12. That can also work, but my recommendation is better you read R.S. Sharma, Satish Chandra and Bipin Chandra. Fine. And then with respect to art and culture, there is Introduction to Fine Arts part 1 and part 2 of class 11 and class 12 respectively. That will work a lot. With respect to science and technology, there is no one specific NCERT. Yes, there are NCERTs related to physics, chemistry and biology in class 11, class 12. But normally based on experience and PYQ analysis, we can identify that UPSC is not directly asking questions from them. So mostly there are reference books that will suggest for science and technology, and then you have to regularly follow current affairs for science and technology. These are the specific NCERT related book list, which I can tell you based on my personal experience and based on discussion with our faculties.
That is very well explained, sir. So next, after finishing the NCERTs, next big question is reference book or standard book. So can you please list down the important reference book for the subjects like polity, economy, environment, geography and science and technology?
Yeah, sure, Suresh. Actually, even that matters a lot. As we keep telling, with respect to book list, you can divide into 2 pillars. One is NCERT, which is the foundational pillar, and then based on that, you have to build your entire preparation using reference book. Again, let's go subject by subject. With respect to polity, there is no doubt about it. The only and only reference book is Indian Polity by M. Laxmikanth. I think they have the 7th edition now. Whichever edition, it's absolutely fine. And then just to clarify, few students have doubts that should we refer Polity written by D.D. Basu or Subhas Kashyap or Bakshi, like that. They are very good books, no doubt about that. They have very good in-depth explanation of the topics and everything. But what we have to understand is that these books written by scholars like D.D. Basu or Subhas Kashyap or Bakshi, they are not written specifically keeping the demand of UPSC exam in mind. That's why it is much better you read and refer only and only to Laxmikanth, because that is written keeping the demand of the competitive exams, especially UPSC, in mind. Now, with respect to geography, the major reference book that any major geography faculty will also suggest is G.C. Leong. There are other ones, but I think that will work for geography optional, but not for geography for the GS related. G.C. Leong is more than enough. With respect to economy, again, there are multiple sources. There are so many ones, but based on my experience and discussion again with faculties, I can tell you that at present in the market, books Indian Economy by Vivek Singh and Indian Economy by Ramesh Singh are much better. If in case, again, like how I told with respect to NCERTs, if in case you are still not able to get a hold based on your study of Vivek Singh or Ramesh Singh, I would suggest them to go and read Indian Economy by Shankar Ganesh. It's written in more simple language, it will be more easy to understand. It will help you a lot, especially for prelims. Then with respect to science and technology, there is no one specific source, but as far as based on the present trend goes, by science and technology book written by Ravi Agrari sir is, I think, reliable source in the market as of now. And then with respect to environment, again there are multiple sources, but again based on lots of discussion, we can suggest that environment by Shankar IAS or environment by PMF IAS, both will work, both are equally good. And then with respect to ancient and medieval India, there is no specific reference books. If you actually read your NCERTs better, that is more than enough. Or else if in case you are part of any institute and then there is any specific book prepared by them or material prepared by them, you can rely on that. But a scholar written reference book is not there as far as I know for ancient and medieval India. For modern India, yes, there is Spectrum Publications Modern India, which I would suggest is mandatory with respect to modern India. With respect to art and culture, most of it will be covered in your, as we discussed, Introduction to Fine Arts. But for extra reference, I think better again, as available in the market, Nitin Singhania's art and culture book will work the best. I think that will more than suffice.
Yes, sir. So moving to next question. After collecting all these books, next important question is how they should be studied. Suppose few people are mainly focusing about multiple revisions. Few people will start making notes right after first revision. So what would be your advice for them, sir?
Yeah, true. Actually true, because having a book list is very important, no doubt about it. But after you get the book list, the most important question is how should I read it now? Should I read NCERT first? Should I read a reference book first? Should I make directly notes from NCERTs? When should I make notes? Is it in the first reading, second reading? These are all actually valid questions. In the beginning stage, these are very valid questions. See, for example, okay, so for our discussion purpose, what we can do is, we can categorize students into two. Yes. So let us say, for example, one category of students who have joined a particular institute, any particular coaching institute for their preparation, and if you are attending those coaching classes, what I would recommend, what I would suggest them is that, please make sure that you attend your classes regularly and make very good class notes. So let that class note become your ultimate final revision material. It should be your consolidated material. Now, once you have made your good class notes, then what you do is, on that particular day itself, if possible, what you do, respective chapters in NCERTs, please go and read. And whatever extra points that you get from your NCERTs, maybe an example, maybe a particular keyword or anything, so please note it down and add it to your class note, so that your class note becomes your ultimate reference book, reference material for the revision. Let's say, for example, if you get additional time during your classes itself, which practically is a little difficult, because we keep getting those kind of queries. But if in case they are able to get time, they can go and refer respective reference book also. Again, same strategy. When you read your reference book, let's say, for example, fundamental rights chapter you studied in, your faculty discussed in your classes. Then what you do, go and refer that chapter in NCERTs. Indian Constitution work has a fundamental rights chapter, go read that. Whatever extra points that you get, maybe some Supreme Court judgment, maybe a particular good example, add it to your class note. Let's say same way you go and read fundamental rights chapter in Laxmikanth book. You get some additional points there, maybe some cases, maybe some articles, maybe some whatever extra examples or something, add it to your class note. So this is one way of studying. Let us say, let's look at other category, where those students who are absolutely reliant on their self-study. They have not joined any particular institute. They have absolutely relied on self-study. For them, what I would suggest is, start with NCERTs. Read them at least once or twice. Don't make notes in your first or second reading. Then what you do, maybe in the third reading, again read it. When you read it, try to underline the keywords and everything. But don't make notes directly from NCERT. If you have studied your NCERT for 2 to 3 times, then start your reference book. Let's say NCERTs, as I told, for Polity, if you read, then go with Laxmikanth. From Laxmikanth, when you start reading, then you make notes from Laxmikanth. Now, after that, what happens? Whatever, let's say, for example, preamble chapter you read in Laxmikanth. You noted some important points from Laxmikanth. Then what you do, read the same chapter again, what you have already read from NCERT, maybe Indian Constitution or work, maybe few topics from political theory NCERT. Now from NCERT, pick those additional points and add it to your class note. Class note in the sense, the notes that you prepared using the reference material. This is for those who rely on purely self-study. Yeah, so the point is you should have one consolidated notes, which it should be at the core based on your reference book or your class discussions, and then add it using your NCERTs, because if you don't have one consolidated notes, it's very, very difficult to revise it during the time of your exams.
So moving to next questions. In this UPSC journey, the biggest blunder is either students will keep on collecting the books or they will refer 3 to 4 books just for the specific subjects. So what would be your advice for them, sir?
Yeah, actually it's another very valid question, because as I told in the beginning, as we discussed in the beginning, now market is flooded with too much of materials. There are so many people who have written equally good books. We are not denying that. But the point is, as an aspirant, you cannot go and read each and every good material which is available in the market, because if you go like that, as I told again in the beginning, there is no end to the content. So whatever we discussed with respect to NCERTs and reference book, largely it is based on multiple years of experience and discussions I am telling you. You can stick to that and then make notes from them. Never ever, this is a very serious suggestion, never ever fall behind content. Once you have read a particular reference book and if you have understood the concepts from it, okay, let's say if you are not able to understand the language or something, maybe then you can change. But if you have already read a reference book for, let's say, from 2 times or 3 times, then please don't change it. Stick to the same reference book. For example, let's say you have studied Indian economy from Ramesh Singh. Please stick to Ramesh Singh itself, then again don't keep on changing the reference book. Now reason, why is it important? Because the reason is that if you read the same book multiple times, your concepts will become more and more clear. You will get a hold on the language that is used in the books. Subconsciously what will happen, the same kind of language, the same kind of words you will use actually in your prelims also, even in your mains. You go and ask any candidate, they will tell you the same. And even if you go and ask any serious candidate or a topper, they would have completely relied on one particular book. For example, just the famous one, just to take, if you ask any topper how many times they would have read Laxmikanth, they will tell minimum 20, 30, 40 times they would have read. Depending on, of course, have they cleared it in their second, third, fourth attempt. So minimum 10, 15 times minimum they would have read. And then what will happen, they will underline those keywords, they'll use some sketch pens, this, that and everything, they'll write it down some keywords, some other examples, some other mnemonics they'll make, and they'll add everything in that reference book, in Laxmikanth itself. That what will happen, especially when you are attempting prelims, that actual book itself will act as your pictographic memory. Now, if you ask students, they'll tell you that, okay, with respect to this polity question, I was able to recall this particular page of Laxmikanth, I was able to eliminate that, I remember that I had marked it using so and so sketch pen, this color, this word, this mnemonic I had mentioned here, some story I had mentioned, all these things they'll tell. Because that is how subconscious mind will work. If you read and read it multiple times, it will just get etched in your memory. That's why it is very, very important to stick to only and only few materials. What is more important is revision, not content. Revision, conceptual clarity, you should be able to retain it so that you can recall it at that moment in the exam. Especially what will happen if you rely on multiple sources, what will happen, let's say your prelims is 1 week down the line or mains is 1 week down the line. Which material will you revise now? If there are 2, 3 sources, if you rely on one and then you will not, if you are not able to revise another 2, you will lose your confidence. So hence another person who has revised the same book, let's say for example some 5 times or 10 times, they will have very good hold on memory, and they will be able to recall better. Yeah, so that's why it is very important to stick to only few sources, focus on revision.
Sir, thank you so much for explaining the importance of book list and its approach.
Yeah, thanks Suresh, thanks.
I hope today's episode will really help our beginners to understand that UPSC is not about reading too many books or referring too many materials, but it is always about choosing right book and read them properly and revise them frequently. This is for today's episode. So in next episode, we will come up with another important topic. See you in the next episode.